I pressed by accident, yeah. Okay. All right, guys. All right, guys. Ron Harris here from MuscleBuilding.com, live from Las Vegas. That's right, live from Las Vegas, not anybody's basement. And we just finished up the press conference here for the Olympia, all divisions. Joining me, I'm going to try to get back in between. The Boston Mass, Jose Raymond, who's been on the Olympic stage many, many times, 10 or 20 or 10 times. Awesome competitor, as you know, in the 212 division. And of course, Giles Tiger Thomas, first Olympia back since 2019.
2019.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank
Welcome
you.
back to Las Vegas in particular. And we just wrapped up the press conference. They had all divisions. I'll start with the format of the press conference because it was a little different. I think this is the way they did it last year too, though. In the past, they would have all the competitors on stage for an hour, hour and a half. And I felt terrible for them because they were waiting for their turn to talk the whole time, trying to stay awake, starving. So now what they do instead of that is they just bring them out a couple at a time by division. Bob Ciccarello as the MC, the host, asks each of them a question, tries to get them a little trash talk going. So first of all, Jose, do you like this format better or did you like the old format better?
I didn't like this at all because people were getting interrupted. It seemed kind of thrown together last minute, and I would have rather seen them all out there, and you can get to them quick, answer a question, ask a question. I really liked it better the other way. I didn't like seeing people get cut off. I also didn't like the fact that they invited Eduardo to do it and then didn't bring him up to talk. This might be his last chance. This is his first time back in a couple of years. Eduardo is a legend in the 212 division and is basically what brought Brazil to where it's at today, having all these amazing competitors. Eduardo is the man. I wish he had a moment to speak today. So,
What about you, Giles?
If I had a choice between the 2019 Olympia Press Conference or that, I'd take that any day.
Okay.
I preferred it. I thought it was good. I didn't mind the cutting off because they had to keep it moving, you know, and they're paying very close attention to what people are saying. And, you know, and some people, they go on a bit too long maybe. And I don't have a problem with it. They've got a schedule to keep. And don't forget, there's now 10 divisions.
11.
11? A wheelchair as well. So, yeah, so they've got to keep it moving. So I personally liked it. I preferred it.
Okay. Highlights of it. You know, Bob was trying to make things interesting. He was trying to get some trash talk going. What was your favorite part of that entire press conference?
I loved when Nick said, Blessing said, what do you have to say, Nick? And Nick said, I don't speak to people in the third call out. That was pretty good. I also loved Andrew Jack's confidence. You know, that's the first time we've really seen him. We don't really see him speak much. And he was really confident. So I'm really excited to see what he looks like. And, Blessing's obviously a clown. It was funny. He's the most entertaining guy because he's not afraid to make a mess. But it was good. It was good in general, that whole thing. I just didn't like the setup. That's all. Yeah. That's all right, though.
I would say the highlight for me, just because the crowd really got going, you know, obviously with the trash talking, but Michael Krizanek from Slovakia, he's the only one that showed any part of his physique. He took off his shirt. He had a string tank top on, white as a ghost, no tan on yet at all. But, you know, in the past, we have had guys whip off their shirts and do a little quick pose down stuff. The crowd eats that up. And the crowd was trying to get other people to do it. But Krizo is the only one who did it. Smart move?
Yes. But for me, my personal favorite highlight of the whole thing was the new guys. Like Jose said, Andrew Jack. Like I said, I didn't expect that so much to come from him. I've heard him speak a little bit, but I didn't know how much personality he has. Yeah. I love seeing Krizo, whose rear delts you can see from the front in the most muscular. I mean, that has to be something. And he also needs to put some tan on because he messed his tan up in Prague. I was there doing the live stream.
That's right.
And he really messed his tan up. And I said to him afterwards at the after party, I said, you cannot do that at the Olympia. So for me, I want to start seeing, get some tan on right now because this is the Olympia. He can't afford to foul up here. Also Blessing and also Rafael Brandao. I thought that was a nice little touch with the tissues. I thought that was hilarious. But for me, it was the new guys.
Yeah, what did you think about that? Rafael Brandao, it was like I don't know. I assume that was organized. I assume that was coordinated. So he was called out of the front row in a nice suit, sunglasses, and he had two gift bags for, was it for Nick Walker and for Hunter.
Yeah.
And they contain Kleenexes because they'd be crying after them. I thought it was pretty brilliant. What did you think of that?
Well, it was clearly staged. He told me yesterday that he was going to do something. He didn't tell me what it was, but I thought it was hilarious. And Raphael is one of those guys that deserves to be up there. And I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. He's clearly confident. He looked sharp as can be coming up in that suit, and that was a riot. I think he's onto something. I think he can push Hunter. He can push Nick. He has a different look than them. That was great. It was good to see. He's a relatively shy guy,
Right.
so to see him break out of his shell and have a little more character, it was great to see.
I thought a lot of the women the women's divisions, they're being like almost too nice to each other. And, which you should be respectful of your fellow competitors. But Bob was really working hard trying to get them to say something controversial or something to get the crowd going. And did we get much of that at all? Do you recall anything from the women's divisions where it was controversial or making it more like a pro wrestling type of thing?
Not controversial, but the only one that really stuck in my mind was Sydney Gillen. I thought she was very articulate. I thought she spoke very well. I think she spoke with confidence and class. And but the rest, I'd have to struggle to try and remember.
Yeah.
I watched all the divisions. I watched them all. But I feel like it's difficult for the ladies because it's not such an alpha type thing to say. It's like the guys could, Blessing can talk smack about Nick, but I think it would look weird if Janet Legg said it about Issa Pacini. It just wouldn't seem right, would it? It just seem like, look, I don't know. Maybe I think the dynamic is different with men and women, personally.
Yeah, I agree. We did get one bombshell of news, buff bombshell, Lauren Lauder holding the camera. But Margie Martin, known as Margie Marvelous, did announce this is her last show.
Yeah.
She didn't quite explain why, but still, that's the only real big news we got out of this. Because we did also find out that defending. So Whitney Jones is not here to defend the Fitness Olympia title, but who was limping? Oksana Grishina. She was limping. It looks like she might have torn a hammer or something in the leg.
Yeah, but remember what happened with Whitney Jones? She did a one-legged routine, and was it the Arnold Classic and the Olympia when she did her ACL?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying she's faking it, but it'll make for a good storyline because I think Oksana last year got a speed back. She got a speed back in a routine, and I feel like it would be amazing if she pulled it out of the bag and got a win here. But I thought those three that they called out, Ariel, Missy, and Oksana, that's kind of how I have it as well.
Yeah, and we also found out that this is the largest Olympia as we knew it was, but now we have a number. We have over 400 competitors in this show, which is insane if you think about it. The Olympia, I can remember many years, especially back in the old days when it was just men's and women's bodybuilding, like 20 people, 25 people between the men and the women, the whole thing. So did we learn anything in this? Did we learn anything that's possibly, Jose, makes you rethink the way the Mr. Olympia or the 212 might go down?
I didn't learn anything aside from who the powers that be, who they chose to bring out, may tell you a little bit, but I didn't see anything. We won't know anything until they take the clothes off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting who they chose to come out and speak.
Right.
So that might tell you, if you're going to read into it, could tell you something.
Yeah.
I don't think you can read too much into this.
No,
Yeah.
I hope
I was
not.
having this conversation with somebody else just now, and I was to tell you, I don't think this is something that we can read too much into. Because like I said, until they move them, get them on stage, I don't think we can tell too much. Because they were called out in several groups. I might be wrong, but that's my personal feeling. I think it's going to be, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the top 10. I think this Olympia is going to be full of surprises. I think there's going to be a lot of disappointments, but I think there's going to be I think it's going to be outweighed by the surprises.
Yeah. I do want to remember one more highlight for me was Andrew Jack and Ian Valier finally face to face, because they've been back and forth on social media quite a bit the last few months. And Andrew finally had a chance to say, this guy talks a lot of smack on his podcast. And Ian said, that's my opinion. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Yeah. But because you've been on Fawad's podcast many times. So that had to be a fun moment for you.
Yeah, well, Ian is known as a very outspoken guy. So again, if you, like he said, if you can't take it, then don't listen to it. And I loved how Andrew was doing this when he was talking.
Yeah.
It was great. That was the most heated of the whole day, the most heated exchange. And it was good. Yeah, well, that's what we're here for. We wanted to see a little bit of entertainment. It's not WWE, but it was pretty entertaining.
It's a good mix.
Yeah.
It was a good mix.
And I think they really tried to get Blessing Awodibu. He really fulfilled that role as the hype man, tried to bring some of that WWE excitement, because that's been his shtick all along, is that I'm going to bring excitement back to bodybuilding. I'm the boogeyman, this and that. So, I knew he was going to play a key role in this press conference, and he did. So that really wraps it up. We didn't, press conferences before our football game, they don't mean anything. It's whatever happens at the game or the competition. That's all that really matters. But it's good for the fans, gets them hyped up. And like I said, we did get a nice sneak peek at Krizo. Krizo, you need some tan, dude. Let me tell you right now. I don't know if I've seen skin that white since I don't know. But he'll get it.
Look in the mirror.
I'm losing my tan. But yeah, so we will be back tonight, guys. We're going to be doing interviews at the athlete meet and greet. That is going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to do a double team. Giles is going to be doing interviews. Lauren here is going to be doing some interviews. I'm going to do an interview. It's going to be a great time. And of course, the competition starts tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. for the judging. Join us on this channel. Join us on musculardevelopment.com. We'll be uploading photos, doing play-by-play. Coverage, of course, brought to you by High Tech Pharmaceuticals. It's going to be a good time, guys. So please stick with us here all weekend long. It's actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's a long weekend, but we're going to make it so that you're going to feel like you were here, even if you can't be right here, live in Las Vegas, just like we are. So thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We've got so much more to come.